I spent 3 years building an AI algorithm that would change everything for our marketing company. Then the CEO's daughter, fresh out of college, presented it as her own work to a room full of investors. They gave her $10 million and made her head of operations. After the meeting, she asked me to tidy up her new office. I walked out that day and activated something they did not know existed. 2 weeks later, I got a call that rewrote their history. My name is Nina Carter, and this is the story of how I went from being invisible to holding all the power. I was 29 when I joined Vertex Marketing Solutions 5 years ago as a data scientist. The company was mid-sized, about 150 employees, pulling in $50 million a year. The CEO, Richard Brennan, had built it from nothing 20 years earlier. I was good at my job. Really good. Within 2 years, I became the technical backbone of the entire operation. That was when I pitched my idea. An AI-powered predictive marketing algorithm that could analyze consumer behavior and predict trends before they happened. Revolutionary. Competitors had nothing close. Richard approved a small budget but told me to work on it when I had time. So I did. Nights, weekends, holidays. I poured everything into it. Taught myself new programming languages, studied machine learning papers until my eyes burned. Ran thousands of test scenarios. By year 3, it was working. 95% accuracy in predicting consumer behavior shifts. It could give clients 3 to 6 months advantage over their competitors. I documented everything meticulously. Every line of code, every test, every decision. But I made one critical choice that would save me later. I built in a backdoor. A kill switch buried deep in the core architecture where no one would ever think to look. I told myself it was just security, in case the code was ever stolen. I had no idea how right I was. 6 months before we were set to launch, Richard's daughter joined the company. Melissa Brennan, 23 years old, fresh from business school. No technical background, no marketing experience, nothing real to offer. But she was confident and charismatic and knew how to work a room. Richard gave her the title, Special Projects Coordinator. High salary, corner office, vague responsibilities. She started attending meetings and asking questions about ongoing projects. She seemed particularly interested in my algorithm. How does it work? What makes it different? What is the timeline? I explained everything patiently, thought she was just trying to learn the business. She asked for documentation to better understand company assets. I hesitated, but Richard encouraged it. She is family, he said. She needs to understand what we do. So I gave her overview documents, not the actual code, but explanations of how everything worked. She started sitting in on my technical presentations, taking notes, recording sessions for learning purposes. I felt uneasy but did not want to seem paranoid. Then came the investor meeting. We were pitching for a $10 million funding round to expand the AI division. I had been preparing for months. This was my moment. The morning of the presentation, Richard called me into his office. Change of plans, he said. Melissa will be presenting the algorithm. I stared at him. I built this, I said. I should present it. He shook his head. Melissa has the business school training. She knows how to talk to investors. I tried to argue, but he cut me off. You can be in the room for technical backup if needed. The presentation started and I sat in the back, watching my 3 years of work get stolen in real time. Melissa presented with confidence. Polished slides, buzzwords, projections. She talked about her vision for the algorithm, her development process. Used phrases directly from my documentation but claimed them as her own insights. The investors were impressed. Young, dynamic leader with cutting-edge technology. When they asked technical questions, she deflected smoothly. My team handles implementation details. They committed $10 million on the spot. But with one condition. They wanted Melissa as the official project head. We are investing in her vision, they said. Richard agreed immediately. Melissa was made vice president of AI development and operations. My title stayed exactly the same. No raise, no recognition, no credit. After the meeting, everyone celebrated with champagne. I stood to leave. Numb. Melissa caught me in the hallway. Nina, great meeting, right? I looked at her. You presented my work as yours. She smiled. I presented the company's work. We are all a team here. I felt rage building. I spent 3 years building that algorithm. Every line of code is mine. She did not even blink. Actually, according to your employment contract, all work product belongs to the company. So technically, it is my father's. And now it is mine to manage. Then she said the words that broke me. Speaking of which, my new office needs to be set up. Could you help tidy it up? Make sure the tech equipment is configured? I would really appreciate it. I stared at her in disbelief. You want me to clean your office? She smiled sweetly. Just being a team player. I turned and walked straight to Richard's office. Burst in without knocking. Your daughter just stole 3 years of my work and claimed it as hers. He looked annoyed. Nina, this is not the time for drama. We just secured major funding. I could not believe what I was hearing. That algorithm belongs to me. I built it. He stood up. The algorithm belongs to this company. Melissa is now in charge of the AI division. That is the decision. She asked me to clean her office, I said, after stealing my work. His face hardened. You are causing a nuisance. Melissa is your superior now. You need to respect the hierarchy. Then he gave me an ultimatum. Apologize to Melissa and get back to work. Or follow the exit. Your call. I looked at the man I had worked for 5 years and saw only greed staring back. I did not say another word. Walked to my desk, packed my things in 20 minutes, and left. Security escorted me out. In my car, I sat in silence. Then I pulled out my laptop, logged into a hidden server only I knew about, and typed in a command sequence I never thought I would use. The kill switch activated. The algorithm would begin degrading slowly. Within weeks, it would be catastrophically broken. I sent one email to myself with complete documentation proving I built everything. Then I deleted my access and drove away. It was just perfect the way my algorithm had a backdoor only I knew existed, buried in the core code where no one would think to look. It would degrade slowly, causing failures that would look like random glitches at first. By week 4, they would lose everything. Melissa would have to explain to investors how her own algorithm worked, and she would have no idea. Week 1 passed and the algorithm performed normally in testing. But in live client deployments, small anomalies started appearing. Predictions were off by 2 or 3%. Within margin of error, but unusual. I monitored everything from a distance through industry news and professional networks. Melissa and her team attributed it to normal variance. One major luxury retail client questioned the data. Melissa reassured them personally. Just calibration issues, she said, being refined. I watched quietly while consulting for smaller firms. 3 competitors reached out offering positions. I declined them all. Told them I was considering my options. Week 2 hit, and prediction accuracy dropped to 85%. Still functional, but concerning. 2 clients reported the algorithm recommended campaigns that completely underperformed. Melissa held emergency meetings with the technical team. They pored over the code but could not find the issue. It was buried too deep, woven into the architecture in ways only I understood. They brought in external consultants who were baffled. The architecture is brilliant, they said, but something is fundamentally wrong. They could not identify what, because they did not understand my original design. Melissa started calling me. I did not answer. She sent emails. We need your help with some technical issues. Can we schedule a call? I deleted them without responding. Richard called and left a voicemail. Nina, this is Richard. We are experiencing some technical difficulties. Nothing major, but we could use your expertise. Give me a call. I never called back. Week 3 was catastrophic. Prediction accuracy dropped below 70%. Completely unreliable now. A major international beverage company launched a campaign based on the algorithm's predictions. The campaign failed spectacularly. $4 million loss and a public relations nightmare. They terminated their $8 million annual contract immediately. 2 other Fortune 500 clients suspended their contracts pending investigation. Total contracts at risk, $23 million. The investors were panicking. Emergency board meetings were called. Melissa was in full crisis mode, unable to explain what was happening. Her technical team worked around the clock but made zero progress. The degradation was accelerating now. I had designed it that way. Industry news sites picked up the story. Vertex Marketing's AI wonder falls apart. Competitors started circling, reaching out to Vertex's clients with better offers. The company's private stock valuation dropped 40% overnight. Then came the emergency investor meeting. Melissa had to present what went wrong. She had no answers. "We are working on identifying the technical issues," she stammered. One investor cut her off. "You presented this as your algorithm. How does it work?" Melissa stumbled through buzzwords. "It uses machine learning and predictive modeling to analyze consumer patterns." The investor was not satisfied. "That is marketing speak. Explain the actual architecture." She could not. She had never understood it. Another investor leaned forward. "Who actually built this?" Long silence. Richard tried to deflect. It was a team effort. The investor was not buying it. "We did due diligence. We know Nina Carter was the lead developer. Where is she now?" Richard shifted uncomfortably. "She is no longer with the company." The room erupted. "You fired the person who built the algorithm we invested $10 million in?" They threatened lawsuits for fraud and misrepresentation, demanded return of funding or immediate fixes. The board of directors, regional members more powerful than Richard, demanded explanations. By the end of week 3, Melissa was facing personal lawsuits from investors. The board was investigating Richard for gross mismanagement. The company was hemorrhaging money. Week 4 began, and the algorithm was completely non-functional. It produced random, useless data. All remaining clients had suspended or terminated contracts. The company had maybe 6 weeks of operating capital left before bankruptcy. Then my phone rang. Richard's number. This time, I answered. His voice was desperate, broken. "Nina, please. We need you. Fix this. Name your price." I kept my voice calm and cold. "My price is 55% stake in the company." Silence on the other end. "That is not possible," he finally said. "I am the majority shareholder." "Then you are about to be the majority shareholder of a bankrupt company," I replied. "I have offers from 3 of your top competitors. Good offers. You have 12 hours to decide." "Nina, please," he started. "Be reasonable. We can negotiate." I cut him off. 55%. Full voting control. Signed by you and the board. 12 hours. I hung up. I gave him 12 hours to decide. 55% stake and full voting control, or I would walk away and watch them declare bankruptcy. I knew he would call back. I knew the board would force him to. Because without me, that algorithm was worthless code, and everyone finally knew it. 11 hours and 47 minutes later, Richard called back. His voice was completely defeated. "The board has approved your terms. 55%. I want it in writing," I said. "Full documentation, legal review." "Already prepared," he replied. "When can you come in?" "Tomorrow, 9 a.m. And Richard?" "Melissa is removed from all AI-related decisions, effective immediately." He had no leverage left to argue, agreed. The next morning, I walked back into Vertex as the majority shareholder. Conference room full of lawyers, board members, and remaining investors. Documents were signed. Nina Carter now owned 55% of Vertex Marketing Solutions. I was immediately elected to the board with full operational control over the AI division. Richard kept 30% and his CEO title for now. Within 48 hours, I disabled the kill switch with a command sequence only I knew. The algorithm was functioning perfectly again. 95% accuracy restored. I ran demonstrations for remaining clients and the board. Investors were relieved, but also furious. One confronted me. "You destroyed this on purpose." I looked at him calmly. I took back what was stolen from me. The algorithm is mine. Always was. He threatened lawsuits. For what? Fixing a broken algorithm? Besides, you need me more than I need you. No one challenged me after that. Over 3 months, I won back 18 million of the 23 million in lost contracts. Brought in 2 new Fortune 500 clients through my own network. Revenue stabilized. Within 6 months, the board voted to make me CEO. Richard was moved to Chairman Emeritus, a title with no real power. He took it quietly because he had no choice. Melissa faced personal lawsuits that Richard settled with his own money. Her reputation was destroyed. 6 months after I took over, she resigned. No exit package, no goodbye. She just left. Richard approached me once after that. I should have protected you, he said. I should have stood up for what was right. I looked at him. Yes, you should have, but you chose pride and nepotism instead. He mentioned disciplining Melissa, cutting her off financially. That should have happened the day she stole my work, I said. Not after you had no choice. 2 years later, I am standing in my office, the CEO's office. Vertex Marketing Solutions is worth $200 million and growing. I own 55%, which makes me worth over $100 million on paper. The algorithm that was stolen from me is now the foundation of an empire with my name on it. Melissa tried to take credit for my 3 years of work in one presentation. I took back everything and built something even bigger. People ask if I feel bad about the kill switch, about letting the company nearly collapse. I do not. They stole from me. I took back what was mine. That is not revenge. That is justice. Thanks for listening to the end. If you believe in protecting your work and never letting anyone take credit for what you built, do not forget to like and subscribe for more stories of betrayal, justice, and taking back your power.